I haven't even said anything yet. And I've already got like a mad-faced emoji. Just because you're there, that's why. How dare you take up my Facebook space? Good morning to you. It is a Monday. It is also Labor Day. We hope that it finds you well this morning. And if you're sleeping in, and you know, I fully expected to come to our live stream this morning for the update and be all by my lonesome. I really did. I didn't figure there'd be anybody here today, but there are some hardcore folks, you know, and that's why my wife goes, it's a holiday. You don't have to, it's a holiday. I said, well, I'm here. I went to work this morning. I'm already up. Why not? You know, engage with our community, no matter how few people there are. Chason's up this morning. Morning, Mr. Carey. I appreciate you dropping by with us this morning. I really do. Not a whole lot to talk about. I'm going to be honest with you. There is not a lot to talk about this morning because I think it is a holiday and there are a lot of people that are taking the day off. But we'll go ahead. We'll walk through it. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time here this morning because I know you have better things to do. And apparently the person who already put the angry face up for me, they had better things to do before we ever came on this morning. By the way, I'm Dan Gresham. This is my house. This is the at-home update. It's a much more casual approach to what's happening in the headlines, and it's just our way to look at things that are happening in our community. We start here. You know, we start at our house. This is my community, my house. And then it just kind of goes out from there like a bullseye, you know, the ring's going out. Because we believe that the real community, our world, despite what other people want to tell you, our world is really very small. It's that 10-mile radius, 2-mile radius probably, around our home. That's really your world. We like to believe we can influence all these things that are happening in places like, you know, Los Angeles and New York and Chicago. And can you really? Or is the real influence what happens inside your home? Good question, I think, to ponder on this Labor Day for 2020. It is the 7th day of September. Let's check out what's happening this morning on the KFDM.com website, where you can go and get the latest headlines. Entergy Power Restoration, as far as I can tell, I went and looked, there's like one small area in orange that's got a pretty good number of outages, but every place else is really spotty at best. So I think Entergy probably would tell you 99% of their Texas customers now have power. And those who don't, it may be something that has to do with their home versus the actual system. Now, I read a fascinating story today. I think I'm not sure. I think you can probably find it, and maybe this is it. Maybe this is the story. Let's see. But it was talking about where the companies are. Yeah, this goes into it because it starts talking about all the work they're doing in Louisiana. It says they have 23,000 people that are working. And look at this, structures destroyed, substations out, lines out. It's just huge. And they're talking about they're not going to be able to rebuild some of these towers. They're going to have to go and purchase new ones and then put them up. It said Laura's damage to Entergy's transmission system surpassed that of Hurricane Gustav that hit Louisiana and Hurricane Ike that hit Texas in 2008. So you can go and read the entire thing if you want, but it's pretty amazing to see the numbers. And, you know, they talk about Lake Charles, trying to get them re-energized, but some of the lines being down, you know, they're saying it could be weeks before they're back. And even though most of Texas is back, they're trying to repair some transmission lines, and apparently there's some pretty serious transmission. Here it is, our restoration force of 23,200 from 30 states. Alabama, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Mississippi, North Carolina, New Jersey, New Mexico, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, Wisconsin, and West Virginia. Biggest Biggest workforce they've ever brought in post-storm. And you'll see them around. They're about, I had to make a run to Houston yesterday. My son lives there, so we went to have lunch with him. And we're coming back, and it's 6:30, 7 o'clock. Could not believe the number of utility trucks going the other way. And all I can think of, because these are like Potomac Edson. You know, if you want to say, oh, they're done, they're going home. I don't think they'd be going that way. They'd be going the other direction probably and going north. But anyway, so I'm just wondering if we don't have people working here and in Lake Charles, they're having to drive all the way to Houston every day to find accommodations. Because you know that, okay, A, there are none in Lake Charles. B, there are none in Sulphur, Benton, Orange, Beaumont. So, I mean, you start reaching out further and further, and then you go the other direction. And people are telling me you can't get a hotel room in Baton Rouge, that you pretty much have to go to New Orleans if you want to get a hotel room. A lot of people out of Lake Charles, obviously out of their homes, need a place to stay while they go in and work and then they leave. So I'm not sure. I don't know that to be a fact, but there sure were a lot of guys and women, I'm assuming, on the highway driving towards Houston. That's a long drive after work every day. And these guys are putting in, 12, 14, 16-hour days? Yeah. So anyway, good news, for most people in Texas, and better news. The news is better. At least you know in Louisiana what it is that you're going to be facing. Let's go back over to KFDM.com. A couple of stories that you might want to check into. We had a couple of hit and runs over the weekend. We had a fatal accident on Highway 73. There it is right there. A man dies after he walks on the highway. Apparently ran out of gas or something and then walked out into the roadway. 39-year-old man. So sad story there. Also this morning, we have school updates where LCM, West Orange Cove, and they're going to stay closed apparently this week, the week of the 7th through the 11th, until they can kind of get a better situation. It's some roof damage, among other things. But you can go and read that. You can also go to the KFDM Facebook page, get caught up on what's happening. And I'm sorry for those of you who are like, oh man, I can't wait for the big cool down. It's coming this week. No, it's not. Unfortunately, it's just not. I say it all the time. Meteorology is not an exact science. You wish that there were, that you could go A plus B equal, but there are too many variables at play. And bless their hearts, every time they think, oh, we're going to give them something good, then something like this happens where you're not going to get your cool temperatures. Chad said that high just hadn't broken down. So again, taking you back over to the Facebook page for KFDM, there it is on the right-hand side. You can just see it doesn't get into that far into Texas. It's just not going to happen. They're still going to get some snow in the Rockies. It's the, 9th day by the time we get there, 10th day? So I don't think we probably should have expected much out of that to begin with, but we're not going to see it. So unfortunately, if you were holding out hope for that, I'm afraid you may have to wait a little bit longer. Let's say good morning, some more folks. Linda Beasley, good morning to you. Thank you, ma'am. Also this morning, Peggy Mitchell Sterling, good morning. Thanks for keeping us updated every day, she says. Then Cynthia, good morning to you. We'll certainly try to stay safe. Bridget Griner says, good morning, Dan. Just getting that first cup. Good for you. Sleeping in this morning. That's good. Shirley James is also up with us this morning, as is Amanda, and Kenna is also this morning. And love you. Appreciate your being up this morning. I was just reading somebody else's. Cynthia, good morning. Back home. Well, Cynthia, I'm glad you're back home. I think a lot of folks probably are finally back home after a week or more away from the house. Glad to have you back. All right. Again, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time this morning. There's not a whole lot going on. I just wanted to take time to say good morning to you on this Labor Day. And good morning to you, Henry, as well. Let's see. I did want to show you that your friends are out this morning. That's for sure. Check out Crystal Beach over the weekend. I think there were a few folks out on the beach this weekend. Yeah, as far as the eye can see, canopies and people. It's the Houston Chronicle, by the way. And good for them. I mean, I'm glad they're out. Looks like most people, I don't know how you feel now. I mean, how do you feel about people going out, to the beach or being outside? The theory seems to be as long as you're separated by enough distance and you're staying within your family group, therefore you're not, running the risk of infecting others. And I think now, I mean, can we concede that most people are at the point now they're just saying, look, we're going to have to live with this one way or the other, and masks maybe are one of the best ways to do it. I didn't see a whole lot of masks at the beach, and I understand that. People are outside. They're going to have a hard time doing that. But it's out and about for a lot of folks. I did want to show you, too, what we hope to be positive news. We will take it as positive news. Texans in the hospital for coronavirus as of yesterday, almost 500 less than a week ago. And they only occupy about 6.6% of the hospital beds. And from the beginning, we've suggested when you look at the numbers, this would be the number to look at because hospitalizations indicate, where we are, and the fact, again, that if you can't overwhelm the healthcare system. And we haven't. But we're also saw 64 more deaths across the state of Texas. And we are, 64 more deaths than reported the day before, 962 more than a week ago. So we've had 13,472 COVID deaths to this point. And the interesting one, I saw a story today, and you might want to go look for this, but I think it was on the Texas Tribune, the same website that I saw it was talking about. And I think I can pull it up real quick for you. There you go. It was talking about student athletes get COVID-19 tests 3 times a week, but the average university student does not. So, I mean, there's that emphasis, on athletics and the money it brings into a lot of these different colleges where they can afford to spend it. What does that mean? How does that skew the numbers, right? And I want to end this morning, one final note, and then I'm going to let you go and get on with your day. I'm going to get on with mine. Christopher Nolan's movie Tenet earned $20 million this weekend at movie theaters. And I love the way here's USA Today, they call it modest 20 million sounds like a lot of money to me. I know they spent a lot of money, right, making the movie, but 20 million still sounds like a lot. But it's the highest number since the pandemic started. And my question is, it says about 70% of U.S. movie theaters are open. Those in the country's top markets, Los Angeles and New York, though, remain closed. Theaters operating on limited audiences, maximum 50%, the rule that's going on. Tenet played in 2,810 movie locations, about 3/4 of the what most major releases typically launch in. So my question is to you this morning, would you go back to a movie theater at this point? Would it be something that you'd be interested in doing, that you would go back to see a movie no matter, I'm assuming a lot of people these days, it has to be something pretty special, right? Because if you've got that 55, 65, 75-inch television at your house, and you can watch a lot of movies, it would take something pretty special, I would think, to get you back to the movie theaters. Anyway, you can weigh on that this morning if you want to. Always, of course, that I read every one of your comments every day. And I do appreciate it. I like seeing them, and I like knowing what you're thinking, what you're interested in, because maybe that dictates where we go tomorrow. I'm always looking for things to bring to your attention. So let me know. All right. That is it for me today. It's a holiday. I plan on getting out and doing something to mark the day. And again, labored already for those we remember on this Labor Day, and hope that you will go out and make it a terrific day, whether you're going to be inside or outside today. And remember kind of the purpose of the day. It is about those who labor. And of course, look forward to seeing you back here bright and early tomorrow morning. We'll be back for the update. Also, hey, please know that tomorrow we're doing what we're calling a day of giving. And on the KFDM television show, on the morning show, and then on KBTV Fox 4, which is where I'll be on tomorrow, We're going to spend all day talking about how you can make a monetary donation. If you've been wondering, how can I help people who've been affected by Hurricane Laura? We're going to show you the easiest way. Just reach into your pocketbook and give somebody the money that can do something with it, the Salvation Army. And we're going to show you how and why you should tomorrow, all day long. All right. So we hope, and if you want to go do that today, you can go to the KFDM website, kfdm.com/cares. Follow the prompts, make your donation, and it will be appreciated and it will be put to good use. Again, thank you for your time this morning. Quick reminder, if you want to catch up, you can always see us here on the KFDM Facebook page. Also, Twitter, Morning TV Dan, if you want to follow me there. And YouTube, you can catch up with us, Dan's at Home. That is the YouTube page, and you can subscribe there, and we post these every single day. And again, if you want to give us a like today, we'd appreciate that too. And whoever gave me an angry face this morning, you know what? I appreciate that just as much. I just appreciate your being here. All right, go out and make it a terrific but safe day. And again, we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow, if not sooner.